Yeah.
Morning, Arsene.
Morning.
Latest on your squad, please.
Well, from last game at Bournemouth, I think we have some uncertainties with Niles, who was sick yesterday with flu, and we should have Koscielny back, and we should have Monreal back in available for Saturday, and maybe Özil back as well. He should be back as well. So that's the good news.
How's Olivier Giroud?
Olivier Giroud is 1 week away.
And just finally for me, obviously Theo has now joined Everton. What will your abiding memories of him be at Arsene?
Well, I would say that my memories on Theo go for over 12 years, you know. Personally, I'm very, very attached to Theo because he's a person who is intelligent, has complete integrity, for total commitment and focus on his job. And I remember he arrived here at the age of 16 and went to the World Cup straight away. And of course, he scored important goals when you look back in big games. You speak about cup finals or Champions League games or the games against local derbies. You know, we have been outstanding performances against Tottenham. So I just regret what happened, but he didn't play enough recently, and I wish him well and thank him for everything he has done for us, and will always be welcome here.
Thank you for your time, Arsene. Could you tell us the latest on Sanchez to Manchester United?
That is a story where you are well documented, apparently in the media, you know, so I have not a lot to add to that. It can happen, it can as well not happen.
Really, it's still?
Yeah.
At that stage?
Yeah, at that stage, yes.
Do you think then there is a chance he could ever play in an Arsenal shirt again?
Yes, of course. If it doesn't happen, he will play on Saturday.
I think United want to do it within the next 24 hours. How likely do you think that is?
I've worked on transfers for 30 years, you know, so it is likely to happen, but any moment, any minutes, things can break down. That's how the transfer market is. So as long as it's not over the line, you have to accept that it can as well not happen. It's never, these kind of things are never guaranteed.
And obviously a part of the negotiations, it would seem, involves a player coming the other way, in Henrik Mkhitaryan.
Mm.
Is that your understanding as well?
My understanding, yes.
And what about him as a player? Do you like him?
Yes, of course. If it's a possibility, it's because I like the player.
And he likes Arsenal too. You've probably heard his quote from 2009, if not I can give it to you.
Yeah, we played many times against him when he was at Dortmund, you know, and so he certainly appreciated the quality of our games and the way we play football. And so that's why certainly loves the club as well.
Would wages be an obstacle at all, because you have the structure here, which apparently he wouldn't quite fit into, given what's
No,
on at United?
the wages would not be a problem.
In terms of Sanchez, you said that he wouldn't go unless you found a replacement for him. Would that replacement be Mkhitaryan, or would you still be looking?
Look, this would be an exchange of players, and I think one will replace the other. And are we still on the transfer market after that? Yes.
Malcolm, any latest on that?
No, I don't think we are close to do that.
You don't think that will happen in January?
I don't think so, no.
And Aubameyang, forgive the pronunciation, his agent's apparently in London. Is he a player that might be joining Arsenal soon?
No, I have nothing to add to that. We are, as I told you, we are this kind of things. It's better when it's secret and when you don't come out on it, and when you announce it when it's over the line. And apart from a deal we just spoke about, Sanchez, Mkhitaryan, could happen, yes. Nothing else is close.
Aubameyang, just finally on him, to say the least, is a bit of a character, isn't he? Would he fit in at Arsenal, do you think?
Yes, because character can be a very positive note and can be a very negative note, you know. So I believe overall you look at the achievement of a player during his career, and usually when the career has been very positive, a character has been used in a positive way.
Final one, Johnny Evans.
There's well nothing to add at the moment.
You say Ozil's possibly fit again, which is good news. Do you see him being here in February?
In February? Yes, of course.
So no move out in January for Ozil?
No.
Can I just ask you finally from me, Arsene, about the making public of the exchange with Mike Dean after that decision to give West Bromwich Albion a penalty, which we obviously realised was a bad decision. Do you feel happy that these exchanges are made public?
No, I have nothing especially to add on that. I think the referees have their own sanctions, and they have to live with that. And I don't especially want people to be punished, you know. I think just you want them to make the right decision and to help them to make the right decisions. And that's all I want. After that, what happens, it's down to them how they have their own rules, and I respect that.
But surely after, in a grown-ups game, after a debatable decision like that in the heat of the moment, it's fine to have an exchange of views with the referee.
I don't know what is fine. I heard so much in the dressing room that has not been punished, and so much worse than what I said that has not been, people got away with it, you know. And I heard a lot at half-time as well, where I never spoke in 21 years to any referees at half-time in the dressing room. So I was quite amazed by the fact that I was charged.
Thank you, Arsene.
You regret now not selling Sanchez in the summer, getting more money for him and having this whole circus for the last 3 weeks?
Look, the problem was exactly similar to what it is today. I only accepted to let him go if somebody else comes in for him, and it was not possible in the summer. I would have done it because it was not possible, because it happened very late on the last day of a transfer market, and that's why it didn't happen. So overall, if it happens now, it's because somebody else comes in for him.
I was at Chelsea last night, and I think it's debatable about whether the VAR cleared up things last night or not. I mean, you'll have seen it over the last couple of weeks. Your first leg of the semi-final of the League Cup used VAR. From what you've seen so far, would you say it's been a success? It's
look, what you want is to improve the system that exists at the moment, and VAR will contribute to improve it. Will be some hiccups at the start of a functioning? Certainly. Will you still need to clear up the way it works? Yes, I agree. Is that enough to renounce? I would say no. Personally, I'm still a fervent supporter of it, and I believe we have to move forward and to improve the system, certainly, but we have to go for it, and you cannot imagine that in the future it will not be used. We have to find the proper way to do it, but it has to go that way.
last season you beat Palace at home, and there was a famous scorpion kick goal from Olivier Giroud. You've already beaten them at Selhurst Park this season, so are you confident going into Saturday's game?
I'm confident, yes, but it's down to our performance, you know. Crystal Palace is was on a good run before we played against them at Crystal Palace, and since they have had positive results again, so we have just to focus on our performance and make sure that we win the game.
Finally, from me, it hasn't been the happiest of 2018s on the pitch for Arsenal so far. Of course, it can always turn around, but are there days when you sit there and think to yourself, you know, maybe this will be my last season here, maybe I'm, you know, it's just not going to work out? And
no, that's not the way I respond. I agree completely that 2018 until now has not been very positive, but I'm long enough in the job to know that what is important is how we respond to it and to focus on the performance. My personal situation is a bit secondary to all that. What is important is how the team responds and what we make of 2018. We have many challenges. It's difficult at the moment, but as well very exciting because we have many challenges in front of us, and we can come back in the Champions League, and we of course play the semi-final next week, and after we have a Europa League as well is another target. So we have to very quickly get over this transfer period, because for us especially this period has been more disturbing than ever. Because why? Because we have big players who are at the end of their contract, and that's the first time it happens. But we have so influential players who have close to the end of their contract, and it has been more destabilizing than ever.
You just said, Arsene, that this has been more disturbing than ever. That means you must have been under a lot of stress. Has this been the most stressful period the last couple of weeks?
I don't know. I have no stress measurement at all, but it is, of course, it has been very. It occupies you on the pitch, off the pitch, and at night as well, because you're very busy. After that, I think I can deal with the kind of stress it creates, and the experience I have helps me to focus on what is important and at the right moment.
How close are you to confirming Jack Wilshere's future?
We know what we want. We want him to stay, we want him to extend. After that, we have to find, he wants to stay. After that, we have to find a satisfying financial agreement with Jack that is good for him. And that's what we're trying to do.
Arsene, reports coming out of Manchester suggest United are willing to pay Sanchez £500,000 a week. Is that a worry for football in general?
I wouldn't like to come out on the numbers, because that's Man United problem. If they want to come out with the numbers they offer to Sanchez. I respect Man United because they generate the money, they pay to the players by their own with their own resources. So you have to respect that, and after that it's down to them to know how much they want to give to the player. But overall, Manchester United is a club very well managed financially, and of course as well on the pitch. So that's why I don't have any problem with the money they pay.
But will it skew the transfer market here, the wages paid for other clubs?
Look, the modern football has created a kind of game where the best players in the world are regrouped to a very small number of clubs. That makes football less unpredictable and much more predictable. And I would say the financial resources become between the biggest clubs and the smaller clubs. This gap has increased in the last 5 years tremendously.
On Alexis's decision, though, are you disappointed that it does seem to have come down to money in the end?
No, because they are professional players. I have no problem with Alexis Sanchez's attitude. He has been outstanding with us. He was in training yesterday, fully committed and prepared 100%. You know, he's a guy who is one thing you cannot question for Alexis Sanchez is his professionalism and his commitment. After that, he's 29 years old. The next contract will be, of course, very important for him.
I mean, Arsenal made you a big offer, didn't you, to stay here? Do the fans have to accept, though, that maybe Arsenal can't still quite compete with United and City in terms of the wages that they can offer?
Yes. Financially, yes. That doesn't mean that you cannot compete on the pitch, but that would not be an excuse big enough to not compete on the pitch. But of course, there is no mystery that United and City have bigger financial resources.
Is it a case, though, that you might have to tweak the wage structure to maybe pay the top players more and have fewer players on the same sort of salary?
That would need a longer explanation maybe than just a short press conference. It's debatable but not feasible. I do not want to come out with the numbers now because I feel that would not be the right moment. We did the maximum we could afford to do, and one day maybe I will come out on that, but today is not the moment.
Okay, you left him out at Bournemouth because he was, I think
Yep.
you said half in, half out. But if the deal isn't done, you're confident he's in the right frame of mind to play?
Yeah, because it's deadline now. When I left him out at Bournemouth because I was scared that we sit at Bournemouth on Saturday night and the transfer happened. It was already quite advanced. So I didn't want to be in a position where I travel with him and he has to go back and doesn't play.
But you think if it's not done, he'll be in the right frame of mind mentally?
If it's, as you said, you well informed, it's now in the next 24, 48 hours it will happen or not.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arsene.
Can we take the mics out, please?